Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to this lecture. Today we will talk about depreciation. It is a concept level understanding lecture on depreciation. We will not talk about the methods of depreciation like the straight line method and the written down value method, but we will try to understand the meaning of depreciation. So, starting with the word depreciation, for someone who's new to commerce or someone who's a non-commerce student, this is surely a technical word. And the moment there are technical words, then people start getting a little afraid or people start losing their confidence in terms of knowledge and understanding. So, let's just kind of use this as an English word, depreciation, and understand it purely from an English point of view. Right. So the opposite of depreciation is appreciation, and appreciation is a word which we come across more often than depreciation. So what is appreciation? Appreciation is when there is an increase in the value of something. So that is appreciation. Opposite of that is depreciation, which means that there is a reduction in the value of something. So now we come into accounting. So the value of something, what is that something? The something is an asset. The something is an asset which is a real account. So we have three types of accounts. So in case of a personal account, there is never going to be depreciation. In case of a nominal account, there is never going to be depreciation. In case of a real account, there will be depreciation. Will every real account go through depreciation? No, the answer is no. Every real account will not go through depreciation. Only some of the real accounts will go through depreciation. The primary classification within the real, some of them go to profit and loss account, primarily goods, but most of them will go into the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, they will often go into the category called fixed assets, right, or within fixed assets you will have plant and machinery, etc. Everything which goes in the balance sheet for most purposes will go through depreciation, unless it is the policy of the company or the entity to not do depreciation for a particular asset class. Now there is only one exception, which is land. Land is a real account and land comes in the balance sheet, and land in economics, if you have learned, is indestructible and it cannot lose value. So when you are accounting for land, you will not depreciate land. But if you have a building on land, the building will go through depreciation, not the land. So that's one distinction which you need to understand when you are dealing with a structure. A structure is or a building is constructed on a land. The land part will never be depreciated, and the structure on top of the land, which is the building, it could be a permanent building, it could be a temporary building, it will go through depreciation. So we've understood that the real account is often in the balance sheet, and when it is a part of the balance sheet, for the most parts, not 100% of the times, it will be depreciated. Okay, so we are having a decent understanding now in terms of what are the kind of assets which will go through depreciation. Now let's really talk about the need for depreciation, right? So if I'm a businessman and I purchase an asset, and I'll give a simple example so that the concept is clear. Let us say I buy a machine, and the machine is going to manufacture 1 lakh products. Let's change the number. Let's say the machine will manufacture 10,000 products, right? So at the end of 10,000 products, this machine will stop working and it will have to be junked. Okay, if this is the kind of machine that you have got, and let us say the machine can manufacture, we said it can manufacture 10,000 products. So, and let us say you purchase the machine for 25,000 rupees, say 30,000, let's say 30,000 rupees. So can you tell me how much does it cost to manufacture 1 unit of the product? It costs 3 rupees, right? Because you purchase the machine for 30,000 and you can manufacture 10,000 units, and after that the machine will stop working. So the manufacturing cost is 3 rupees per unit of the product. This is over and above, let us say, to buy that product you needed to buy raw materials, right? and those raw materials costed 2 rupees per unit, so that you will incur, let us say you had to hire labor, and the labor, the workers, their wages will be, let us say, 4 rupees per unit. So you have 2 rupees of cost of raw material, 4 rupees of the wages, so that adds up to 6, and then plus you have 3 rupees is the cost of the machine, because the cost of the machine has got completely depleted. So you will add that 3 into the 9, and that adds up to, so yeah, that adds up to 9. 6 plus 3, 9. So that's the cost of manufacturing that 1 unit of product. Now it's a 9 rupee cost to the organization, to the business. Now when they sell it, they can sell it for 9 rupees and 10 paise, and that's a profit. They could sell it for 10, they could sell it for 12, they could sell it for 20, they could sell it for 50. But it is important for the business to understand what is the cost, right? The cost is not 6 rupees, the cost is 9 rupees. You have to include the cost of the machine, because this machine was purchased for 30,000 and then it was eventually scrapped at the end of its ability to manufacture 10,000 units. So this is a very simple example where you know for sure that the machine will manufacture 10,000 units, and after that it will stop working or it will become useless, right? Now for practical purposes, that's not how a machine is, right? It will it will have what is called as a useful life. Okay, so if you have to be able to actually calculate your depreciation, what you need to know, the first thing is the useful life, which means that for how many years will this machine work, or will this fixed asset work, or this real asset work, how many years will it be useful to the business. Okay, so it will be useful to the business for a certain number of years. That is called the useful life. And the smaller component of it is at the end of the useful life, it will have what is called as a scrap value, or it's an estimated resale value. So these are the two things you need to know. You already know your purchase cost, right? And the two things you need to forecast is your estimated useful life and the scrap value. So scrap value is basically a small amount which you will earn while disposing of the asset at the end of its useful life, right? So you want to charge to the manufacturing of the product or to the sales of the company, right, that component of the depreciation of the value of that real asset, right, to add to the cost of the products which are being sold, either the manufacturing cost. If you are a manufacturing entity, it could be a trading entity, so then to the cost of the business in itself, right? The example we gave was very clearly related to a manufacturing entity. Okay, so like I said, you will start with the cost, you will subtract from that the estimated scrap value. So let us say your cost is 50,000 of a machine you purchased. Let us say the scrap value is going to be 2,000 rupees. So you are left with 48,000 rupees, and you estimate that this will last for 10 years. So you have to bring the value from 50,000 to 48,000 in 10 years time. This is the most perfect way of doing depreciation. Okay, so you will choose a certain method through which at the end of 10 years the value will go from 50,000 down to 2,000 rupees. That's the scrap value. You bring it down from 50,000 to 2,000, which means 48,000 is going to be the depreciation total for 10 years put together. The simplest is to say every year you just take 4,800. Okay, so this is not very easy and possible to do always. And we are running out of 10 minutes on this lecture today. This is concept of depreciation is taking a little bit longer to explain. There is a part 2 to this video. So we will continue the rest of the explanation in part 2 of depreciation. It's a concept level lecture. I would imagine part 2 of the lecture should not be too much more than 5 minutes of time. So look forward to the next lecture as well, and